Hi, Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. I am so pleased to have Sharmee Divan with us for a session on Author's Corner. Sharmee is the new author of a beautiful book called When Angels Come Calling. It is available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback, we believe. It's right there. So Sharmee, welcome. Thank you for being here. And you are dressed beautifully today. And tell us what you're celebrating today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here, Ruth. So today is our Ganesha festival. It is the birthday of Lord Ganesha. And we have a 10-day festival in India, especially in Mumbai. It generated during the time of pre-independence by one of our social reformers. And it was their secret way to have, their gatherings so that they are away from the British eyes and, doing their planning of freedom fighting. So that's how the festival came into being. And now it's celebrated mainly in Mumbai, but other cities in India also have kind of, taken on to us. And we have, big, what we call as pandals. So, there are big idols of Ganesha that come in the city and people visit, they go pandal hopping, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a way to, remember divinity and have some fun and be with family, eat good food. And it goes on for 10 days, and then there are people who bring it home as well. So I have a 5-day eco-friendly Ganesha that comes in. He's known as the tree Ganesha, and we pray for 5 days and sing hymns, and it's really nice. I've been doing it. This is my 6th year now.
Okay, and so I can't help but notice the henna on your hands. Now, can you show us?
Well, I self did it. I don't think I did a very good job, but it's good luck, It's auspicious to have henna on your hands when you're doing something nice, something holy, something religious. Brides have a lot of hennas on their hand when they get married in India.
Right.
And we usually apply it on good occasions.
So I'm used to seeing the greenish brown color, but I'm not used to seeing it's like burgundy or purple.
Yeah,
right?
it's burgundy. Yeah, sometimes it can be like almost black, like if you see this tip, it's almost black. But yeah, it can go pretty dark. And they say that the darker your henna is, the more your husband loves you.
But no pressure.
No pressure.
That's great. Thanks for that.
So this is the after color. What you saw, the green or the black is the paste, and then you scrape it off, and then like it stains it.
Right.
So this is the stain.
Yeah. Wow, that's really beautiful. So let's talk about When Angels Come Calling. This is your first book, correct?
Yes.
And
I wanted to write this book for a really long time. I only ever gathered the courage to in 2018.
But there are years of information in this book.
Yes.
So I got to do a deep dive into your book, and it really is, it's entertaining, and it's a way to get to know you and your belief system, but it's also really educational. I learned about the angels from your book. It's an easy read, but I know, having read it once, I'm not done. I'll want to go back to this book to read up on it. Now, Doreen Virtue was a huge impact. She had a huge impact on you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So yes, it did start for me with Doreen and her books and her cards, and all the stories that I have written about it are 100% true, and it just flowed, and Doreen actually still happens to be one of the most popular angel therapists for Indians. It is only now that people are realizing that there are trainers and authors beyond Doreen Virtue. People will still go and seek her books and her decks. They are only just discovering Kyle, in fact. And she was very influential when she was practicing and teaching, and everybody in India had a lot of reverence for her.
Now
No different.
right, she has changed her interests. You, however, built a relationship with the angels, and you are continuing that relationship with the angels, regardless of what Doreen is doing in her personal life. And I appreciate that, because I too have my own relationship with the angels, with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael in particular. And I can't fathom anybody here on the earthly plane doing anything that would impact my relationship with those archangels. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. And I would like to say over here that it did shake me up quite a bit. And it challenged my own belief systems when it happened with Doreen. And like, it put me in a shock. My work did suffer, I'm not going to lie. But I also asked myself a really important question. And that question was, am I in this for Doreen or am I in this for angels? And my answer was very evident. And, just in like towards the end of that year, my friend Sue got in touch with me, and then she put me through to Sherry Myers, and then Sherry got me connected with this huge angel network that we have of angel therapists all across the world. And it somewhere comforted me, and it gave me that reassurance that I'm not alone, that my belief systems are very similar to a lot of your people's belief systems, and that we're still carrying that torch forward, and we're still talking about angels and connecting with them and invoking them and teaching about them. I mean, a huge part of Enlightened World Network is about that as well.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. Now, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Well, we're grateful to have you as part of it. So the angels have had a big presence in your life, and life-changing presence in your life. One of those was around your son coming into the world.
Yes.
You want to talk about that for just a minute?
Sure. So I have what we know as PCOD, Polycystic Ovarian Disease. And one of the side effects of Polycystic Ovarian Disease is, of course, weight gain, hormonal issues, and infertility. And because I was about 17, 18 kilos more overweight than what I am today, back then, when I was trying to conceive my son, the doctors told me that I will not be able to conceive naturally, that my body is not going to hold the pregnancy, that I will have a series of miscarriages or, different things. Different doctors told me different things. And I said, okay, all of this medical bombardment has happened. And while I respect the medical field and I respect the doctors, I asked myself and I asked my angels, and I said, okay, what do I do to get my body ready for a child? And I connected with the angels and I asked them, how can I help myself get pregnant naturally? First and foremost, am I going to conceive naturally? And second of all, how are you going to help me? And so I just went with the guidance, and lo and behold, I did conceive. In fact, I conceived in the very first try. And I have an episode written where, my egg position was not the right position, and I could have miscarried. And I would give my womb a lot of healing. Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Haniel. These were the angels that I worked with constantly while I was in bed rest. And I kept telling them that, you know what, you help me get pregnant. Now you're gonna help me keep the baby. I'm not taking no for an answer. You can't be doing this to me. And I have that relationship with angels where I'm like, you know what, this is not okay, or this is okay, and I'm mad at you, and I'm happy. So I have a very open relationship, I can say, with angels. And I said, you know what, you've gotten me to here, and I have faith in you that you're going to get me ahead as well. So I'm putting my faith in you. You better help me. And they did. They did. Yeah, I had a beautiful pregnancy. I did have a beautiful pregnancy. Although I had a premature baby, and because I was losing amniotic fluid. But this was something that happened at the hospital, because I would have to go to the NICU, the NICU, for the preemies every single day. And they did this kangaroo care time where they would put the baby at my chest and have our heart chakras connect. And this has been researched in Australia, which is why the name kangaroo care time. And I would do affirmations and angel therapy and chanting and hymns and all sorts of things while I was holding the baby. And one of the times I remember, like maybe on day 1, day 2, something like that, the doctor calls me and he's like, ma'am, what are you doing with the child? Like the nurses are asking questions. I said, well, I'm an angel therapist, and this is what I am doing, and I'm doing affirmations and all these things. And he's like, we've not seen this kind of growth for a child in a really long time. Like whatever you are doing, keep doing it. And if you can, do it for the whole NICU. So, I would send the vibes to all the babies while I was holding my son. And so then they gave me the name Angel Mom in the NICU.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what a gift that was to those other babies.
Yes.
I would think
it's all they're doing.
Right, I would think they'd want to keep you on staff, actually. Just to do that.
I would have loved to. It's just that I think people are still quite in question. They were really like, they kept saying that you have a miracle baby because he was born at a very low birth weight, but with completely developed lungs, which is not normal for children his size. He never had any developmental delays or anything of that sort. In fact, he was a little bit on the upside compared to other children. So I know that whatever they're doing it right. I have a lot of faith in it.
Wow. In your book, you said that angels are like the airbags in life. What did you mean by that, Sharmee?
So, it's, and I love giving this analogy because I think people understand this better. So let's say you're traveling, from place A to place B. Okay. And, you have been told that the route is dangerous, that, there's a landslide that has happened, that you might meet with an accident, blah, blah, blah. And that, you open your tarot cards and you realize that, oh, I am going to meet with an accident, for example. You have two choices, if you go to an Avis or Hertz, and they offer you two kinds of cars at the same price. One car that has airbags, it is insured, it has all the safety requirements, and the other car has none of the above. Which one would you choose to go in? Because you know that you're entering a dangerous zone. And I'm giving the analogy of the car with the airbags with regards to our lives. We're going to have these up and downs in our lives, and we're going to be driving our car of our lives and go through the journey of our living, however that we are meant to live. And if we can have that car with the airbags, no extra costs, and it is even better than the other car, would you still choose to be without it or with it? Right. That's why I say that angels are the airbags in your life, which is the car.
You talk about thousands of angels being at the touch of our hands. We can access thousands of angels. I personally work with 500,000 angels. And so I understand what you were referring to there. How do people connect with angels to get to that point where they can say, I work with thousands of angels, and that they can actually ask those angels to go support other people or other natural problems that are happening in the world?
Yeah. So I usually tell people to start with taking baby steps, like test the waters, check if this works or not. And the way that I ask them to do is, like, let's say that, they've just left work and they don't have a ride, their car isn't servicing, and they need to, get an Uber to go home, or, hail a taxi, which is very common in Mumbai, to go home, or an auto rickshaw, which is also very common in the north of Mumbai, the suburbs. And if it's rush hour, the chances of you getting the right kind of transport that is safe, that is convenient, and that is quick is very, very low. And especially in the busy office areas during rush hours. So I always tell them that, why don't you try this? Call upon your angels to find you the perfect ride to take you home safely and on time, have you arrive on time. And pretty much every person who has given this a shot has called me back and said, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Or, I will tell them that, call upon the angels of parking to get you a parking on a busy street. Do that. See if that happens. And they will again call me back or WhatsApp me and say, oh my gosh, this worked. If they want a confirmation on a thought that they're having, so, like, if somebody is just contemplating, okay, I have this option, do I go to the party, do I not go to the party, for example, something very mundane like that. And you're thinking like, oh yeah, I think I should go to the party, and they've picked up the phone, and the time on the phone says 444. Mm-hmm. So like little things, it's the little things that make the big difference. And when they do that, they don't know who they are calling upon, and I don't know who they are calling upon. I just tell them that, if you want angels of Mehndi, then get the angels of Mehndi to help you make a better design. If you want angels of cooking, to call upon the angels of cooking to help you cook better. So I speak their language. I don't sit in giving them rituals and lighting candles and doing anything of that sort. And when they just in general call upon the angels, they see the effects of that versus when they're not doing it. So this is how I get them to get started with some angels. I have no idea how many they start working with, but all I know is that they do start working with angels. And I think it's a good starting point for anyone to have.
Sharmee, one of the things you talked about in your book, which I really appreciated, because you and I believe in the same thing. You talked about rituals and how you don't have to say a particular phrase 5 times before any angel will listen to you. You don't have to, light a candle and use sage and all of that in order for something to happen. And I so appreciate that you said that, because I remember one time I was in meditation, and I call it prayerful meditation, and that's when I connect in with the angels and with my guides and with God and Christ. And I remember at one point I must have done something that was kind of ritualistic, because I heard so clearly, you don't need to do that. And okay. And I realized I don't need to do that, because it's just like sitting down and having conversation with someone. I would never say to you, hello, 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 just to get you to listen. It doesn't make any sense when you think of it.
Yeah, or create a ritual for your, Facebook lives, or, lighting a candle, saging, all of that.
Right. Right. So that was fun. You also talked about your daily practice of how you start your day, connecting in with the angels every day. Quickly, can you just give us a little rundown?
So I kind of developed this habit maybe a few years ago, where when I open my eyes, I open my eyes with a smile and with gratitude. What am I grateful for? And I thank the angels for giving me yet another day to live my life's purpose. And it only takes a moment to do that, but it gives like a good, energetic start to your day. That's what I have always enjoyed doing. And now, of course, I have kind of advanced it a little bit because I learned this in one of the workshops that I was attending. So I thank for three things. So three things that I'm grateful for, three things that I forgive myself for, and I end it with um, I forgive you. Life forgives you. The universe forgives you. All is forgiven. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So it's gone a little more, a little different than what it was in the book. But that's what I did when the book happened. But slight change in direction. And it's been really magical. Like just like taking maybe 3 to 5 minutes to do this exercise, it's been life-changing for me, completely life-changing.
That's exciting, Sharmee. In your book, you teach us about the different levels of angels. You teach us about the archangels. You talk about 16 of them in particular.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to us about fairies being nature's angels. And I so appreciated that twist on how I had been seeing fairies and the elementals. Then you go further and you teach us different healing techniques. You call them hands-on healing techniques. You share cord cuttings, energy daggers, grounding meditations. You walk us through how to connect with your guardian angels, and you include a white lotus forgiveness meditation. There's so many aspects of this book. It's really a rich resource of information on the angels. Sharmee, hands down, beautiful job. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
My aim with this book really was that, I want anyone and everyone to be able to afford this book, number one. I wanted anyone and everyone to be able to read it without thinking of angel therapy to be something hocus pocus and out of their league, uncomplicated. And my aim was also to somewhere give them my angel therapy basic foundation class, that here's a book, pick it up, read it, try it, and see if this works for you, because it has worked for me, and I can guarantee that this will work for you. And I have been flooded with messages on my social media of random people, some who have followed me and I'm not aware of it, or some who are my friends, some who are just random people, I don't even know them. And they've all said that, I tried this, and I recently had somebody send this to me, and she said, I just in my head talked to Archangel Michael, and I said that if you're around me, show me, like, guide my sight to something bright and blue. And she found, I think, like a petal of a flower which was a bright blue, something like that, or I think she saw a blue butterfly. But she did see something bright and blue, and she was like, oh my gosh, this works, it's so simple, it works. And yes, I come from a country where rituals are a big part of my culture. Everybody indulges in rituals, and everybody believes in rituals. And while I also believe in rituals, I think I believe more in myself, and I believe more in my love for God. That is my bigger belief than the belief in the ritual. The ritual is just something that I do maybe to engage my mind into my devotion, but it's not me giving my power away to the ritual saying that, oh, because I have done this ritual, this better happen for me. And this is where I think the twist comes in my belief system, where I am putting the faith in myself and my love for, the divine, versus putting, giving my power away into some ritual uh, that basically is just going to be a ritual of your own manifestation. If your mind is not exactly where you want your manifestation to be, it's not going to work. And then it becomes a shortcut for people to go ahead and blame the ritual that, oh, this doesn't work, don't try it. It's all about being empowered, and it's something I wrote in my a note to my readers, that if there's one thing I want you to take away from this book, is for you to be empowered, that you don't need any authority, any particular workshop, anything, to be able to connect with angels and get the benefits of being connected to angels.
And Sharmee, on closing, you also made an important point, that we don't pray to the angels. We pray to God. We invoke the angels. We work with the angels. We connect and communicate with the angels. But prayer actually is designed to be communication with God.
Yes. I have always believed in it, and I actually practice it. So this morning I was teaching my son about like how you offer food to the god and then you take it back. So I was trying to explain it to him in a 5-year-old's language, and so I said, why don't you use your words? So he was asking me, Mama, how do I pray? So I said, pray exactly the way you talk to me. So I said, so I helped him, and he joined his hands and he said that, dear God, I'm offering this to you with a lot of love and gratitude. I hope you enjoy it. And then when it was time to take that, communion, he so I once again guided him and I said that, just let him know that, dear God, I hope that you have enjoyed your meal, and please, help me nourish myself with this divine food. So, it became very simple for him to understand, rather than me chanting a mantra or trying to show him a very complicated ritual that he has no idea about with his 5-year-old mind, although he's very intelligent. It's 11:11 in India, by the way. My phone just blinked 11:11. So, I keep looking at these little confirmations. Where I am having an internal dialogue that let me know if I'm on the right path, and an 11:11 will blink, or a 4:44 will blink, or something will show up that will tell me that, hey, keep doing the job that you're doing a good job.
That's great, Sharmee, and you are doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Sharmee, your book, When Angels Come Calling, is available on Amazon right now. But if people want to learn more about you and the work that you are doing in the world, how do they do that?
So I have my Facebook profile under the same name, Sharmee Divan. I also have my Facebook page, and I have an Insta handle called Sharmee Angel Coach 777. So if you just go ahead, follow me over there, or even send me a message on Facebook. I am usually very communicative, and I'm happy to have a conversation or have a discovery call with anybody who wishes to learn about the angels.
Excellent. Sharmee, thank you so much. Congratulations again on your very first book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it won't be your last. I know that.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So all of our friends, thank you for watching. Stay tuned to EWN for other shows. Take care and God bless.